What if you could have your own personal, fully autonomous broadcast studio, running right from your laptop? And what if it could create compelling content all by itself using live data from your own city? Well, today we're going to dive into a system that does exactly that. It's called the Data Media Machine. So let's just start with a really big question. Most of the AI tools that we use every day, they're amazing, right? But they have this huge blind spot. They're totally disconnected from the real world, from what's happening right now. They're trained on data from the past, which means they can't tell you a story about the traffic jam that's snarling up downtown at this very moment, or turn a sudden thunderstorm into a visual narrative as it's happening. So this reality disconnect, what does it actually mean for creators, for people on the ground trying to make timely, relevant stuff? Well, it pretty much forces them into a really tough choice.
Yeah, right now, you're basically caught between a rock and a hard place. On one hand, you've got your cloud-based AI tools, but they're generic, they have no idea what's going on locally, and they hit you with API limits and costs, plus you get locked into their ecosystem. Then on the other hand, you have traditional production. You know the deal. It's incredibly slow, it's laborious, you need a whole team of expensive experts, and trying to scale it to cover live data, forget about it. But what if there was a third way? What if you could build your own personal, autonomous newsroom that runs entirely on your own hardware, completely free from all those cloud limitations? And this leads us to the core idea, the philosophy behind this whole project: computational sovereignty. It's a powerful concept. It just means you have total ownership and control of your entire creative AI process. From pulling in live data to that final video render, every single step happens on your machine, no one else's servers, no one else's rules. And listen, we are not talking about some simple little script here. The Data Media Machine is this really sophisticated unified broadcast engine. It's built from 27 custom-engineered nodes, all working together perfectly inside this powerful open-source framework. It really is a complete engine. Okay, so how does this machine actually pull it off? How does it turn all that raw information into a story that you'd actually want to watch? Let's break down the workflow. So even though there are 27 different nodes humming away under the hood, the entire process really just boils down to 3 pretty elegant steps. First, the machine pulls in live local data, stuff like weather reports or even seismic activity from the USGS. Second, it synthesizes all the media you need, the narration, the video, even the background music. And then third, it intelligently mixes everything together into a finished broadcast-ready piece. To make this all feel a bit more real, let's look at the creator's proof of concept project. It's called the Los Angeles Semi-News Project. It grabs live weather and earthquake data for LA, and then it combines it with a musical theme. In this case, the 76 Cities March, set at a pretty quick 135 beats per minute. And the coolest part? The trumpet and piano score is generated procedurally, right inside the workflow from a MIDI file. No external audio engine, no samples, it just creates it on the fly. Now, any good storyteller knows that audio is king, right? A great story needs great audio. So, to make sure the narration is always crystal clear and professional sounding, the system uses this really clever technique called intelligent audio ducking. It's super simple, but it's what the pros do. Whenever the narrator starts talking, the background music volume automatically drops by 6 decibels, which basically cuts the volume in half. Then, the second the narrator pauses, the music smoothly ramps right back up to full volume. It's exactly what a human audio engineer would do in a studio, but here it just happens, completely on its own. Okay, this next part is maybe the most revolutionary thing about this whole project. It's not just what it does, but how it was built. And this opens up some incredible doors for creators who, aren't expert programmers. So get this, the creator, who is not a programmer, built this entire 27-node system in less than a week. How? By using a method they call vibe coding. Instead of writing Python by hand, they just described their goals in plain English to an AI assistant that could access their local files. Whenever an error popped up, they didn't have to debug it. They just copied the error, pasted it into the chat, and the AI fixed the code directly. This completely changes the game, turning a slow, frustrating process into a super fast creative cycle. And when you work this way, look at what you unlock. All of a sudden, you have total creative freedom. No more API bills. No more getting locked into some company's ecosystem. You get total data privacy because nothing ever leaves your machine. You can experiment forever without worrying about costs. It lets you focus on the story, not the syntax. So what does this all mean for you, for other creators out there? Well, this project isn't just a cool tech demo. It's an invitation. This is the big one.
The entire Data Media Machine framework is being released into the public domain. It is completely open source. That means you can download it, you can change it, you can build absolutely anything you can imagine on top of it for free, forever.
I mean, just think about what you could build. You could create a procedural news feed for Tokyo, an audiovisual history of Barcelona, data-driven journalism for Lagos. You could even build hyperlocal reports just for your own neighborhood using real-time traffic data, or create narratives from any dataset you can possibly get your hands on. Ultimately, this project proves that the technology to do this stuff is finally here, and the tools are open and available to everyone. So it really just leaves us with one critical question. What story does your city's data tell?